Hello students, today we are going to see this new topic which is known as deleting elements from a list. So we have in the last class we have seen this uh, topic which is known as finding uh, length of the list. Okay, so this is a function which is used to find the number of elements in the list and how to access it. Uh, and also we have seen this accessing all the elements in the list by using for loop, while loop, everything. Okay, uh, yes, here you can see that how to find the reverse index and positive. These are all the index methods. Okay, positive index method and negative index method, and this is the len function which is used to find the number of elements in the list. And using for loop we have seen how to access the list, and we have seen changing list elements by using index methods. Okay, and also we have seen some functions in this add and insert, append, list dot append and list dot extend methods in the previous class. So today we are going to see this deleting elements from a list. There are two ways to delete an element from a list, that is by del statement and and remove function. So you have to find the difference between del statement, which is a statement which is an instruction, but here the next part here is remove function. So you will using a predefined function here which is known as remove. Okay, so del statement is used to delete known elements, whereas remove function is used to delete the elements in the list if its index value is unknown. So the del statement can also be used to delete entire list. So here in the syntax part they have given this how to use this del statement. Okay, so del list and the index value. So if you give the index value, then the particular value alone will be deleted. In the next syntax also you can see that del list index from to index list to index. So a group of value will be deleted when you give the range of from and to. And you can see that in the next example or next syntax, del space list. So the whole list will be deleted. In the example also you can see a small list here, my subjects. There are 4 subjects here. So in the next statement they are printing all the 4 subjects, and the next statement you can see that del space my subject 1. So 0, as you can see that all the 4 subjects are indexed as 0 1 2 3. Okay, 0 is Tamil, 1 is Hindi, and 2 is Telugu, and 3 is maths. Okay, so we are deleting only an item from the list which contains index value as 1. So you can see that after deleting that, and the result is print my subject. You can see that only 3 subjects are printed excluding Hindi, so since it is deleted. So in the above example, the list my subject has been created with the 4 elements. Print statement shows all the elements in the list. In the next statement, that is del my subject 1 statement, delete an element whose index value is 1, and the following print shows the remaining elements of the list. So in the next example, you can see that they are using range. Okay, range from first element to third element. Okay, so here you can see that in the above example, the statement which is del my subject 1 to 3 deletes the second third element. Okay, second third element from the list. The upper limit of the index is specified with the square brackets, within the square brackets. Okay, so you have to give the square brackets from 0. Okay, so so in the Python you can see that it is taken as uh, from 0 to -1. Okay, n minus 1, any number of terms. Okay, so that is what it's explained here. So in the next example you can see that, yes, del my subject. So the whole list is deleted here, but in the next statement we are trying to print the list here and show, so it is providing you an error message. Okay, so you cannot able to print it because my subject is not defined. Okay, since it is already been deleted, you are trying to print. Okay, so that is the issue here. So here you can see that here the del my statement, my subject deletes the list my subject entirely. Okay, so this statement will delete my subject list entirely. When you try to print the element, Python shows an error as the list is not defined, which means that the list my subject has been completely deleted. As already stated, that the remove function can only uh, be used to delete one or more elements if the index value is not known. Apart from the remove function, pop function can also be used to delete an element using the given index value. Pop function deletes and returns the last element of the list if the index is not given. So the function clear is also used to delete all the elements in the list if delete only the elements and can return the list and retain the list. So remember that delete statement will then delete the entire list, and clear and other functions like pop and remove only removes the elements from the list. Okay, so here they have given one example. My list, you can see that 12, 89, 34, Kandan, Gauri Shankar and Lenin. So these are all the list items. So in the next statement they are printing it, and you cannot see that in the next statement my list dot remove 89. So this statement will remove only the element 89. So here you can see that in the next statement they are printing the list here, and you can see that 12, 34 and other elements are printed except 89. So in the above example, my list has been created with 3 integers and 3 string elements. The following print statement shows all the elements available in the list. So they are executing my list dot remove 89. This statement will delete the element 89 from the list, and the print statement shows the remaining elements. So there is another one example for pop function. So here you can see that only the index value can be used to delete the uh, element by using pop function. So when you are using pop function to delete some element from the list, then you have to know the uh, index value of it. So here you can see that my list dot pop one will delete the 34 element. Okay, so 34 is an element there. So in the above code, pop function is used to delete a particular element using the index value. As soon as the element is deleted, the pop function shows the element which is deleted. So here you can see that this pop function will show the element which is deleted as a print statement. Okay, and pop function is used to delete only one element from a list. So you can use this pop element only to delete only one element from the list. All the other elements will be there in the list. And here you can see that, remember that del function deletes multiple items. So you can see that in the delete function we have seen a range, okay, from index to the to index. Okay, so this can be done, this cannot be done by using this pop function. So the task that is carried out by del statement cannot be done by this uh, pop function. To illustrate this, in the next example is clear function. So in the above, clear function removes all the elements and retains the list. When you try to print the list which is already cleared, an empty square bracket will be displayed without any element, which means that the list is empty. So this clear function will remove the elements inside the list, but the list will be there. Okay, it's like an empty list, it will be having a name, but the content of that list will be clear when you are using this clear function. So that's what it is given here. And the clear function, my list dot clear is a function, and you can see that in the next statement they're trying to print it, but it is printing only the empty square bracket, which means that all the content is being removed from the list. So here you can see that in the next example is list and range function. Next topic is list and range function. So this range function is also used in the further chapters. So we'll be reading in detail of this range function. So it's a very important part of a uh, 5-mark question. Okay, so for when you are reading about for loop in the upcoming chapter, you will be seeing this range function. Okay, so the range is a function that is used to generate a series of values in Python. Using range function, you can create list with a series of values. The range function has three arguments or three values. So if you want to use this range function, then you need to know all the three values. So syntax for range function is range open bracket starting value, ending value, and the step value. So you have to know the starting value, from which value the range must be starting. So series you would have seen in this seen in the mathematical problems. Okay, you have to generate a series of value in which you will be creating series of value. Okay, so if you want to create a list of even numbers, okay, so one is not a even number, but number two is even number. So here the step value is 2. Every 2 element will be displayed, every second element will be displayed. Say for example, one is odd number, one is the first number and the second number is 2, so it is displayed. And the third number is the next first number and the second number is 4, so 4 is displayed. 5 is the next first number and 6 is the second number. So likewise the step value is 2 here. So you can give any start value and you can give any end value, so that it will provide the number of even numbers in the given start and end point. So starting value, beginning value of a series, 0 is the default beginning value. So if you doesn't provide any start value, then the Python will take it as 0. Automatically it will define the start value as 0. End value, upper limit of series. So to to which extent the series must uh, go through. Okay, so Python takes the end value as upper limit minus 1. So the last element will be eliminated. So if you are providing the upper limit or end value as 10, then 10 minus 1 9. So starting from 0 to 9, it will take it as this range function. Okay, so in the step value, so this is an optional argument, so which is used to generate different interval of values. Okay, so as I said earlier, so it is not a mandatory one, so it is a optional one. Okay, so you can also use this range function with only two values, start value and end value, without any step value. Okay, so here they have given one example. So in this example you can see that they are generating number, okay, from numbers from 1 to 11. So in the next for loop, okay, so with the help of for loop, x in range 1 to 11. So the value of x will lies in between 1 to 10, which means that in Python you can see that the last element will be eliminated. So from 1 to 10 is the value. So the output also you can see that the value is printed from 1 to 10. Next is generating 10 even numbers. First 10 even numbers. Okay, so here you can see that for x in range, so for is a looping statement, and in range uh, 2 to 11. So the starting value is 2 and the ending value is 11. So 11 minus 1, which is 10 here, and the step value is 2. For every 2 steps the value will be printed. So this is how you get the even numbers. So in the place of 11, if you give 100, then it will print from 2 to 98. Okay, so 98 is the least value, okay, of even number. 1000 will not be taken place. Okay, so here you can see that in the next topic, creating a list with a series of value. So now you are creating a list with a series of values, either by using range function or any kind of function that you like. So here you can see that you using the range function, you can create a list with a series of values. To convert the result of range function into a list, you need one more function which is called as list. This list function will make the result of range function as list. Okay, so you need a specialized function which is known as list, list. So this will convert the output of range function as a list. Okay, so we'll see this example. List variable, so you have to give the variable name which is equal to list, which is a function. Okay, and inside the function you will be giving the range value. Okay, and you can see that note, list function is also used to create the list in Python. So you can also use this list function to create it. In the previous classes you have seen how to create a list. Okay, so you can see that list is a function here, but in the previous classes we have seen list name equal to, and you can use square brackets to implement this list function. Okay, even if you want that method you can use it. Okay, so here you can see that they have created a event list. So event list is a list name which is equal to list. So this is the function list and open bracket. So inside that range, 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 that starting value is 2 and ending value is 11. Obviously it is 10 here, and the step value is uh, 2. So this will create the list of even numbers from 2 to 10, and it will store that elements in the event list. So event list is a list name, and you can see the result in the next line. So in the above code, list function takes the result of a range function as event list elements. Thus the event list has the element of first 5 even numbers. Similarly, you can create any series of values using range function. So the following example explains how to create a list with the square of 10 natural numbers. Okay, so in the next example they are going to create a square of 10 natural numbers. Okay, so you can see that square is the list name, and which is equal to an empty list. Okay, so here you can see that there is no elements in the square list. So in the next statement you can see that for x in range 1 to 11, so the step value is not given there, so it will take the value from 1 to 10 and substitute the value of the 1 to 10 in x position. So here yes, by mistake they have given us s is another variable. So s is equal to star dot x double star 2, which means that square root. Okay, so square root means 2. If you want cube root means you can replace the value 2 and type the value 3. And you can see that square dot append s. So after executing this square root, it will be stored in s value, and the s value is appended using append method in the square list. So each time when the for loop executes, a value will be added at the square list. So after finishing the loop, it is used print statement is used to print the value of square. So in the above example, an empty list is created named square. Then the for loop generates natural numbers for 1 to 10 using range function. So inside the loop, the current value of x is raised to power 2 and stored in the variable. Each new value of the square is appended at the list square. Finally, the program shows the following value as output. So next is list comprehension. So list comprehension is a simple way of creating a sequence of elements that satisfies a certain condition. So you can use some conditions to create a list. Okay, so you can also give some conditions in the range function or any kind of function which deals with the list, and you can combine these values to form a list. We'll see how it is working. So here you can see that list equal to open square bracket. So inside that you can give any kind of expression. Okay, so in the next example you can see that square equal to x star star 2 for x in range 1 to 11. So this will have 1 to not 11, it is 1 to 101. Okay, so 101 is the value that should be given here for getting 1249. Okay, up to, sorry, 1 to 11 only. Okay, so 1 square is 1, 2 square is 4, and 3 square is 9, so it will go up to 10. 10 square is 100. Okay, so you can see that square is equal to the value of x is replaced from the each value of range function. Okay, and you can get the following output. So in the above example, x to the power 2 is the expression is evaluated each times it is iterated. This is the shortcut method of generating series of values by using this list comprehension. So with this we'll finish the class today. We'll see the other important list functions in the next class. Thank you, students.